연희는 꿈이 뭐니?
주인공이요.
지금 주인공이 하고 싶다고?
네.
주인공 절대 못 한다고 당신.
너 슬레이트 맞지? 혹시 기광님? 아, 네. 저분은 하늘의 불사조를 다루시고 쌀 한 줌에도 사람을 죽이는 귀신.
I was asked to make an action movie from the funding company, and they wanted to do like some sort of action movie. But the problem was the money was not that much. I mean, we had a really low budget, and I was thinking that what can I do with that budget to make the sort of action movie, because we can't make a period film because a period film is very expensive normally. So I was thinking, and I happened to have an idea about the parallel world, so that we can make sort of action movie with the low budget. And also, I was kind of interested in science fictions all the time, especially in the time of Netflix. I could watch many science fiction movie, and I learned about the parallel world theory. So I brought that idea I combined that idea with the sword action genres. So that was my first ambition, but that was my first the place where I got inspiration from. And yeah, the reference, of course, as you can see, the movie was strongly influenced by Japanese sword action movie, and of course Tarantino or Miike Takahashi. So yeah, that was the start.
혹시 기광님? 아, 네. 저분은 하늘의 불사조를 다루시고 쌀 한 줌에도 사람을 죽이는 귀신의 검 기검님이시다.
이거라고 했나?
잘 부탁드립니다.
Okay, first of all, I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm a devoted Christian, and I read about the definitions of hero on the internet. I was searching for the meaning of hero, and I found out that the true meaning of the hero actually comes from Buddhism, and I found that idea was really interesting, no matter what religions I am. So I brought that idea, and then I wanted to talk about, of course, I want to talk about a true meaning of hero, but also I want to talk about how to love yourself, how to accept who you are, and I mean, there was the basic philosophies on my story, but I wanted to tell this through the actions rather than drama or talk or any serious relationship. I wanted to talk about that on the with the cinematic language, and also through the body action.
혹시 행세라고 들어보셨습니까?
나에게 충성하고 나를 섬겨라.
The talking about the jewel, I wanted to use some kind of a necklace or some kind of a ring or whatever to go to the parallel world, but they are very expensive. And my art director found a jewel to show me, and I found that it's quite interesting because it's got a space inside, it's got a universe inside. So I thought that visually it was beautiful, so I wanted to use that. And did you ask me about the reference to the action scene? Was that question?
Yeah, in general, what were your references in general? Actually, referring to the jewel, it made me think about the jewel that's used in Men in Black. You know, and so there is also this universe inside this jewel, and so that made me think that there's a reference towards this movie. But in general, what were your references towards other movies? What were your inspirations actually?
I think you got the point. I mean, yeah, I remember that there's a scene in Man in Black, a quite similar scene in Man in Black. Maybe the idea came from there. You know, sometimes you watch the movie and you forget about it, and in the near future, you happen to think about that and found it really interesting. Maybe, yeah, because Man in Black was my favorite movie when I was very young. So possibly the reference came from that movie, but I didn't have any intentions to, you know, to think about the Man in Black as a reference. But yeah, you got the point. Wow, I never thought about it. This story is about a parallel world, but for me, it's not about parallel world. It's about cinema to me. For example, Yeon-hee, who is the protagonist of the film, in the story, she goes to parallel world, but in fact, for me, it's more symbolic to me. She comes to the world of cinema, where there's strange things happening, like Stanley Kubrick, Tarantino, Miike Takahashi, or Man in Black, or whatever, like space opera or action or comedy. It's like a B movie, which was strongly influenced by Tarantino. Tarantino used many cinematic image from a lot of film, and he mixed that up, and he tell the fun story through that the mixture image of many cinemas. Same to me. I wanted to talk about the story throughout the many interesting image. For example, like the priest or the cowboy man, or who else, or the man who wears a red jacket, strongly influenced by Japanese Yakuza movies. That kind of image all came into my mind, and I tried to I wanted to mix that up to show something fun, to tell something fun story. It's like a, you know, adventures of cinema. Yeah.
오, 슬레이트 맞지? 플레이 다시 테이크 원! 액션! 혹시
Yeah, we all know that SLATE is a tool used by many filmmakers. It signifies the beginning and end of the film scene. So as I told you about that, SLATE is about the cinema itself, and the journey to a parallel world means journey to the cinema. So I wanted to open up the cinema world by using that SLATE, and I want to finish the whole story by using that also the SLATE. So the SLATE signifies, I think the SLATE is very important props to show that this journey is actually about the cinema rather than a parallel world itself. So yeah, I use that props as a significant or symbolic meaning. Yeah.
혹시 흑인세대라고 들어보셨습니까?
나에게
Wow, that is the most difficult questions I have ever asked. What's my favorite movie? There are too many, of course. There are too many, but if I'm allowed, I can tell you the recent my favorite movie that I have watched like 3 days ago. Is that okay with you? Like, it's not all cinema, but it's very new. It's not new, but I've watched the film called Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
Yeah, directed by the Steven Spielberg. I watched that movie in my home, and I was just stunned to see that work. But if I have to talk about the old film, of course, my favorite one was Quentin Tarantino's movie. Like every movie that he made. For example, Kill Bill, it was my absolute shock, and also the Hateful was really, really awesome. I love all of his works. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are two my favorite one. But Ready Player One was awesome, guys. You must watch it. It's just amazing.
만일 그동안 씨 여기 있는 모든 사람들이 졌다면
The more important question is not what I want to make, but what people want to see from the cinema. That is my more important questions. And in fact, like a month, 2 months ago, I had more budget, and I had just finished shooting a horror films, which is called Strange Mansions. Was really pure horror movies, and yeah, I have done that on a really good budget, and it will be released within 2 months. So it was really fun. But to answer to your questions, yeah, the most important question is what people want to see from my film. So yeah, whatever they want, I want to show them. I want to provide them what they want. This my first priority.
연인은 꿈이 뭐니?
주인공이요.
The slate is, of course, as you can see, about the girl who wants to be a hero, but in fact, it is about a girl who learned how to love herself, how to accept what she is. I wanted to invite the audience to my cinema to enjoy her actions, to enjoy the journey that she is becoming a hero. But also I wanted to invite the audience to learn the way to love yourself. So after the film, it's like a Yeon-hee, when she finished her old journey, she slapped the slate and comes to a real world. But she doesn't care about the meaning of hero anymore. She now she learned how to love herself. This is some kind of message that I wanted to really talk to the audience who watched the film. You know, after the film finished, after the slate is slapped, everybody got out of the movie theater and talk about, you know, yeah, I mean, love ourselves, love yourself, and accept who you are, and you're worthy as you are. That kind of message is like, yeah, it's all about. It's what SLATE is all about. Yeah.